The information station, KRMS, Osage Beach.
It's time for the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Lakefront Living Realty is Missouri's only real estate firm focused solely on lakefront and lake access properties, changing lives one lake house at a time. So let's talk the waterfront lifestyle. Please welcome owner-broker Annie Faulstich and her guests for today's program.
Welcome to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage, where we're changing lives one lake house at a time. Happy New Year. I know it seems far off today, but we're talking boating. This topic is essential to nearly all of our lakefront homeowners, and now is the time of year to possibly take a class and or just gain some new knowledge of boating safety and our Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association, so stay with me today. It is crazy to think that we are in the new year, but I think everyone is ready and excited. It was just so refreshing to have a busy fall and start to the winter here at Lake of the Ozarks, really in all facets, not just real estate, although the real estate market did stay busy through the holiday season, and even this week there have been a lot of buyers out looking. So opposite of this time last year, if you have a property to sell or have been considering, do not wait. Buyers are out and they are shopping. This was really true. I mean, typically we slow down a lot through Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays through the new year, but we did not. We had buyers out looking at property through the entire holiday season, so it was very promising. We had Jeannie Rackers on last week, a mortgage consultant with OnQ Financial, talking about the predictions for the new year that interest rates are going to remain low, and there are more and more lending options out there for people to become homeowners or second vacation homeowners. Typically, moving into an election year, we see a little hesitation in the market, but this year's not looking to be that way at all. The lake has been booming all fall and winter. It has been awesome to see all of the off-water restaurant parking lots full and people out shopping and enjoying the lake in the off-season. It's just been wild through the holidays, which is great. We have a lot coming up this year, aside from a new baby, literally any day. So I apologize if I'm out of breath. It's a little hard for me to sit in these chairs and breathe. But stay tuned each week as I make new announcements of upcoming events, new listings, collaborations, and tips on buying and selling lakefront property. We will have another HGTV episode airing this year as well, so stay tuned. You will also be hearing from a few other agents and lakefront specialists coming up this month as I take a few weeks off the radio. So tune in. I know they will have some valuable information and also bring a new vibe to the show. Today, Captain Bob May is staying in the studio with me to talk about boating along with Doug Beck, president of Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. I have to tell you, Bob, it has been such a pleasure getting to know you through the radio station. I, of course, had listened to your show prior to hosting our own, and man, you're not only a wealth of lake and boating knowledge, but you're just a downright good guy.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to finally get a chance to talk to you on the radio.
I know. It's just such a pleasure to be around. So it's no wonder that so many of my guests have already known and liked you from previous relationships, either through the radio show or the boating captaining. I'm sure all of you know, and for the most part, are the reason you even know about Lakefront Living Realty show is by chance you didn't turn off the station after tuning into Bob's show just before ours, which his is on every Saturday from 10:06 to 11 a.m. So if by chance you are catching our show on YouTube, I highly suggest tuning into Bob's No Wake show on News Talk KRMS. You can go to his website anytime and listen to archived shows as well, bobsnowakezone.com.
Thank you
very much. It's a good site, yeah. Each week, I like to talk about topics that typically affect buyers and sellers, giving you, the listeners, answers to your most common questions. I will always continue to ask you to call the office or myself directly anytime with any further questions you may have on one of the shows, or if there's someone or a certain topic that you would like to hear us cover. But Bob, Doug, welcome to the show, and thanks for sticking around with me today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We really should just start pulling tapes of our conversations off the air someday. I think I always learn something new from you every day. So, Bob, let's get started with you and the Bob's No Wake Show. If anyone out there is not familiar, tell us some history on yourself and how the No Wake Show came to be.
Well, my wife and I started boating shortly after we got married. We actually came down from St. Joe, where we were living, and had some friends that had a wedding here at the lake. And that Sunday morning, we woke up, and my wife said, "Hey, before we go back to St. Joe, let's rent a little boat and go out for a couple hours." So we rented a boat at Bridgeport Marina.
Yeah.
And here's the keys. Have a nice time. And we went out for 2 hours, and within 2 weeks, we had our first boat. So we became trailer boaters pretty quick and trailered around a bit, and then, like everybody else, two-foot-itis snuck in. And so over the years, we've had several boats, and we got back. We did some traveling. We got sent to Colorado and to New Mexico and to Ohio and Louisiana. We finally got back to Missouri in 2003, bought our dream boat in 2006, and then the ice storm got us on December 1st, 2006. We all remember that one very well.
And you were docked in a marina?
We were docked, and I won't tell you where, but we were docked. And so it took us about 18 months to rehab the boat. And while we were doing that, my wife jumped up again, and she's the admiral, and she said, you're looking for all these parts and stuff on the internet, trying to find somebody to fix fiberglass or stainless steel or your canvas or whatever it was, because we had $50,000 worth of damage. And so she said, "You're looking up all this information. You're in radio. Why don't you do a radio show about boating?" It was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good idea." So 9 years later, we're still doing it once a week for an hour.
Thanks to your wife.
Yeah, thanks to her. Yeah. And I don't know whether it was just to keep me away from her in the evenings for an hour or so, but no, it's been a great journey, and we've met people all over the country. In fact, several people from around the world we've interviewed on the show. One comes to mind. We had a family that was living aboard a sailboat, and they were from the United States. But when I caught up with them and finally was able to interview them via Skype, they were in Australia. And so we've had interviews from around the globe, but most of them are from the United States, and we talk a lot about just recreational boating safety, new products and services for boaters. And we talk about the issues as well, because we have some issues like E15 is not good. Some issues about water access is another thing that we're dealing with. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and we try to squeeze it into an hour every week.
Yeah, I hear so many people that listen to your show and love the show just because, obviously, Lake of the Ozarks is one of the best lakes to boat on in the country. So we have so many avid boaters that come here. So boating obviously is a huge topic at Lake of the Ozarks.
Absolutely is.
Yeah. Doug Peck, you are the president of Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. Pleasure to finally meet you in person.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, I am. I got that honor by guest default.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly. We started the organization, the Lake Ozark Captains Association. We started that approximately 3.5 years ago, and it really came about the aspect both Bob and I belong to the Water Safety Council here, and our mainstay is that we want to make sure that boating is safe and enjoyable, because after all, we are the #1 recreational lake in the state of Missouri. But safety is a big concern of ours. So what we wanted to do, we saw that there was people that were having some issues. Of course, the no wake issue, or the big wake, was a problem. And one of the questions was, well, how can we educate people on boating? Well, we talked with the Marine Dealers Association, and they said, well, yeah, we would support that aspect for education. Then, of course, Bob and I looked at each other, and we go like, well, we need to have more captains in order to be able to teach people and provide education. How do we do that? Well, there was no list, but we ended up through various resources and putting the word out, and we now have a little over 50 members in the lake area. They range anywhere from what is called an OUPV, a uninspected operator's vessel, or a six-pack is normally called, to 100-ton to actually we have one that is a 1,600-ton master. And we provide all sorts of different the captains can provide all different types of services. So we're able to do that quite easily, and we can go in more detail with that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that music cue, of course, lets us know it's time for a short break, but we will be back to talk about boating, Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. We've got Water Safety Council I do want to talk about, and of course, some Water Patrol boating education classes when we come back on the Lakefront Living Radio Show. News Talk KRMS, 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM on HD3 at 93.5 FM. Plus, now, if you've got Alexa, say play KRMS radio to listen live. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Stacy O'Neill, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty at Lake of the Ozarks. To put my love for the lakefront lifestyle to work for you, call 573-745-0946.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Once again, here's owner-broker Annie Faulstich.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. We are talking boating today. I'm so excited that Bob May has stayed in the studio with us after the Bob's No Wake Show, as well as Doug Peck, president of Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. We are talking about boating safety. We left off just before the break with Doug giving us a little insight on the Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association, lotocaptain.com. Tell us a little bit more about the association. You said you got about 50.
Yeah, we have a little over 50 members, and again, they range from various types of masters. I'm a 100-ton master, and I believe Bob is also. And we have a variety of services that each one of the people do. And the mainstay of the organization is to provide safe boating charters, legal captains that can provide an enjoyable time here at Lake of the Ozarks. Of course, we have the 4 months basically that is just really busy, and that's when we have all the second homeowners and various vacationers come down. But we work in coordination with not only with the United States Coast Guard, with the Water Patrol, with the Marine Dealers Association, and several other organizations, various marinas. And we all have one goal in mind, and that goal is safety.
Yeah.
We enjoy the second homeowners, we enjoy the tourists when they come down, but we want them to come back. That's the important part, and we want it to be enjoyable to do that. Last year, in May, we had our first ever boating and water safety seminar. It was held at H. Toad's. And that was a pretty good success. We have roughly, about 50 people?
Yeah, we had a good 50, maybe a little more, but somewhere in that neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, and we had some excellent speakers. They ranged anywhere from, we talked about in the previous hour, but we had Matt Walls, we had the United States Coast Guard there, we had several other people, local people, like Darren Klein also gave a talk. And it was all directed with safety in mind, things that people can do and all this. But the biggest thing is what we want to do is provide boater education. That really is very important.
Yeah. It was and I did see that. You said it was at Camden at the lake. Yeah. Was that just for captains, or was that for the open?
Open public, anybody. Okay. We encourage anybody. And we're going to have our second annual one which will be May 9th, and that's held at
Lodge at Port Arrowhead this year.
Right, Lodge at Arrowhead.
And Marine Max has been gracious enough to provide some boat slips, so we're going to have the Coast Guard boat and a Water Patrol boat there. Probably a towboat will be there as well, so people can go down and actually see those boats up close.
Yeah.
As opposed to being stopped out on the lake. It's a lot more enjoyable if you see them at the dock.
Yeah.
And take pictures and, just get to know the officers and so on and so forth. So,
and ask questions. I'm sure people have a lot of questions regarding what they can or what cannot do.
Yeah.
And they're the Coast Guard and the Water Patrol are more happy to help that.
Well, we will have to check that out for sure this year. I remember seeing it last year and knowing we had just done the boater safety course at Advantage Marine, a couple months before that. Yeah. So we'll have to check that one out this year for sure. I don't think that you can ever be over-educated on boater safety. I was surprised at how much we learned at that class. And I've been boating on the lake here since I was 2, 4, we grew up boating, but that's great that you're continuing to put that on in that education. Talk to me a little bit about that, boaters' safety, when you get into that a little bit further, because that is something that is so important. When we give our buyers, anybody that's coming to the lake, that's kind of, I had picked one up just before I left the office this morning. This is what's on, I'm showing you with the radio, but we give them boating safety tips, dock electrical, and of course the handbook for boating laws, because obviously, working direct lakefront and lake access, 95% of our buyers at least are also on the water. So that is so important to everybody.
Well, we've run the gambit, at least I've ran into the gambit of people that have been longtime boaters, and like Bob was saying, the 2-foot-itis type of thing, where they may have had a 24-foot tri-tune and now they want to go up to a 30-foot Baja, as an example. And they want to go from singles to twin engines, or they want to go to an inboard from an outboard, or they want to go to an IO. And every boat drives a little differently.
Or they might be going the other way.
Or they might go the other way.
They're going from a 35 or 36-foot Sea Ray down to a Harris pontoon boat or something.
Well, that's what I did.
Yeah, that happens a lot. People are downsizing as opposed to, going bigger and bigger. And, there's some advantages to having that type of vehicle, vessel, the outboards. You can.
But those actually may be a little more tricky to maneuver if you hadn't
They
been
can
used
be.
to it.
Well, they can be. I mean, pontoons or tri-tunes now, they during a windy day, you really need to know how to drive those, and because what will happen is that wind can catch them, and all of a sudden they're just like big sailboats. Yeah. They can hit that broad side, but I tell you what, on a tri-tune, there's nothing smoother on the water. And the trend of the lake right now, at least in my mind's eye, is that people are going more and more toward the tri-tunes. And you can get tri-tunes with twins on it. You can get, I've even seen a couple with 3 engines on the back. And so horsepower is not an issue. If you want to get up there and ski and have a good time on the water, you certainly can do that. And we have a lot of good marinas that offer those
outstanding
options.
Yeah, they're outstanding day boats.
Yeah.
Coming up in second place are the center consoles. Most of the dealers that have those brands are reporting some really strong sales and interest in those. So that's another category of day boat, I guess you could say, that is out there.
Yeah, that's our family has chosen the tri-tune as well. That's our
can't go wrong
boat of choice for the waterways.
Well, the saying is they're no longer your grandpa's boat anymore. They're more of they are more of a family orientated, and you can do everything on them. I mean, you can go out and relax. You can go and have fishing off them. You can go swimming off of them. Go to the various on the water restaurants and bars, and and some of them are really decked out with various lights and sound systems, so they're really good.
I've heard you can tube behind those as well.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah.
My husband jokes and calls it our minivan of the waterways, but it really is, the best option because we can fit so many different, so many people on there safely and comfortably.
Reminds me of that Oak Ridge Boys song. It's hard to be cool in a minivan. Yeah. It's hard to be cool in a mini tri-tune.
Yeah, I know. But no, they're nice. So that covers a lot of Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. And reminder, LOTOcaptain.com. If you're looking to charter a boat, take a day out on the water, it's important to stay safe. Take the stress out of boating. If you're not familiar with the water, or if you're just really wanting to enjoy your time, go to lotocaptain.com to find a captain.
Correct. Yeah, they're licensed captain. They're locals that are here, and if you go to that website, lotocaptain.com, and there'll be hire a captain. Click on that, and there'll be a drop-down list. Fill out the form, and just say how many people, what do you want to do, so on and so forth, and just follow it down. A captain will get in touch with you, and you make the arrangements between the captain and yourself, and they will take you out and you have a good time. So if you want to go out and have a designated sober driver, that's a good place to get it.
It's becoming more and more accessible through the years now to find a captain at the lake. This is an area, too, where can people find a captain that has a boat to use, or is this only for if you have a boat that you're wanting captained?
Both.
Okay.
Both. You can actually, if you want to go to one of the local marinas that rent a vessel, the captains will go there and drive the boat for you, and everyone can load up and head out. Or if they have, several of the captains have their own boats, and you can charter that boat too as well. So, and they're all insured, captains, and the boat's insured, so your liability and safety is utmost in mind. Does
the area of the lake matter, or do all of these captains cover all areas of the lake?
All 92 miles.
All of it. Okay. Well, again, that music is our cue that it's time for a short break, but we're going to be right back on the Lakefront Living Realty Show, so stay with us. I want to talk about Water Safety Council. We're also going to talk about the Water Patrol boating education classes, some upcoming boat shows that you're going to want to hear, and of course our featured listing of the week. So you can always catch us at lakefrontliving.com, but stay with us right now on News Talk KRMS. And if you've got Alexa, just say play KRMS radio to listen live anytime. We will be right back.
Hi, this is Mike Kircher, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty, specializing in lakefront and lake access homes, condos, and land on the North Shore. I also have over 40 years boating experience here at Lake of the Ozarks, and am also a U.S. Coast Guard licensed captain. This makes me uniquely qualified to help you find the perfect lake home for you and your family. Give me a call at 314-346-0990.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Once again, here's owner-broker Annie Faulstich.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. Happy New Year. We are talking boating. It's really not that far. I think a couple weeks ago I even said it was. So now we've got to be less than 150 days till Memorial Day weekend. So I'm not afraid to talk about boating. We even said we were on the water this Christmas Day, comfortably. Actually, it was awesome. There were several boats out on Christmas Day. So I'm never not excited to talk about boating. But of course, we're talking boating safety as well. We've got Bob May with the No Wake Show on with us today. Stayed in the studio with us. And again, Doug Peck, who's president of Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. Did I say that right? Did I mess up your name?
That's okay.
Beck. It's Beck.
It's Beck.
Beck with a B.
Like the beer.
Now I'll remember. Sorry about that. So during the break, and just before we had left off talking about Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association, and just briefly, because during the break when we were off air, we did want to mention that they also have captains available for on-water training, and that is a big issue. Bob brought that up, but in a lot of our clients or people that are relocating to the lake, or if they've, like you said, been on one type of boat for several years and are transitioning to another type of boat, either one of those scenarios is a great reason to call a captain to have some on-water training.
Exactly. And you stated last year you took your boating class, and there's a lot of people that do that. Well, in a way, that's theory. And because it's not on the water actual training, right. It's not reality. And so there are techniques that you want to learn. I mean, and you want to know how to use the throttle. Because there are no brakes unless you want to drag an anchor. But you need to be able to maneuver the boat so it's safely, and specifically in pathways or runway areas between docks. Docking can be a trick depending on what type of wind conditions there are, current conditions, amount of boat traffic. Need to know the navigation rules, and people need to remember that not everybody obeys the navigation rules, so you have to be able to know how to react to in the event that you have a head-to-head or on overtaking, or which boat is what they call a giveaway or a stand-on vessel, and you need to be able to act accordingly.
And training on how to go over wakes.
Yeah, big time.
Because we have a few here.
I know. If everybody would have an opportunity to take a captain out on a holiday weekend, or a busy weekend on a Saturday, just for an hour or two, I think it would be a huge advantage to any boat driver or boat owner.
I've had mothers that have contacted me and said, can you teach our son how to drive the boat? He's 19, he's got his permit, he's already been through the class, but we're afraid to let him go with our Sea Ray. Yeah. And can you come over and take us out? And so, we'll go over and we'll spend 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it is. And mostly what I find, Doug, is that people are the thing that gets them the most is docking.
Yeah.
They're very nervous about they can get away from the dock, okay, that's easy, but getting back in and then parking at the other on the water restaurants and so on and so forth, that's where they really get nervous. And so being able to take them out in the middle of the week when there's no traffic, and take them someplace where they can practice going in and out of slips, that's a real good thing. And we like doing that.
That's right. And what you were saying is one of the biggest basic fundamentals is pulling out of a slip. You would think that would be easy to do, but no, there's a technique to doing that, and also pulling the boat into a slip. And when you're making a turn to go into a slip, a lot of times that's judging speed, distance, and wind speed and current, because you got to remember when you're driving a boat, the boat's moving, the water's moving, the wind's moving, and all three of those things.
And everybody else on the boat is moving.
Yeah, everybody else. Oh yeah, you always have some. Yeah, sit down. You have somebody that's always wants to help.
Yeah,
and it's like, thanks, but no.
Well, I did want to mention that point since we were back on, because I think that is a good reason also for listeners to reach out to Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association. But let's talk about the Water Safety Council. Tell us a little bit about what that is. It's
been around for about 10 or 11 years now, 12 maybe. And at the time when it got started, there were some terrible accidents here and a lot of fatalities, a lot of drownings, and many more than what we have now. And so a group of local citizens got together and said, we got to do something about this, because every time there's a bad story, the St. Louis and Kansas City newspapers just tore us.
Yeah.
And it was hurting tourism. And so the Water Safety Council started, and with their main goal was, really two, was one, wear a life jacket, and two, be a sober captain, have somebody driving your boat that's not drinking alcoholic beverages. And those were kind of the two main points and messages that this group carried. It's an all-volunteer group. It is a 501c3. And probably one of the high points for the few years that we did this was about 4 years ago. We took enough life jackets to the Capitol, and we had every legislator come down to the main hall there, and we donned everybody in life jackets and got a picture taken during National Safe Boating Week. And we actually made some national headlines with that effort. And then we followed that up with, we have in the classroom training that's done with the assistance of the Water Patrol.
Correct.
And, we thank them a lot for their cooperation with us. One of their members is always in our meetings. The Lake of the Ozarks Marine Dealers is another group that is very supportive of what we do. And then we've come to the next project, which was our life jacket zone. You're entering a life jacket zone. These were signs that we painted on boat ramps going down to docks at most of the restaurants and some of the condos and so on and so forth to alert people that it's a life jacket zone, particularly for kids. Let's make sure you got their life jackets on them as they're going down and
it's
getting
just
on
a
the
friendly
boats.
reminder.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And the thing that we found out that we painted them, we had a stencil, and we go around and we painted on the sidewalk. Well, not everybody always looks at that paint on the sidewalk because they're, oh, wow, look at there's boats and all this kind of stuff. And so what we came up with, and we saw this on some other place, but it looks like a caution sign. It's yellow. It's approximately, I think, 13 by 13 sign. And it's yellow and black, and it says life jacket zone, and there's a picture of a life jacket on it. And you'll see these at Jolly Rogers, Captain Ron's, at other marinas and other places. And people can get them at Camdenton Chamber of Commerce. We sell them if you want to put them on your own dock.
That's what I was just going to ask, yeah.
Yeah, just put it on there. I think they're $20 is what it is. It all goes toward as a nonprofit. And it's a real good reminder because remind everybody to wear a life jacket because people, I know, just case in point, there's a lot of people that will take boating lessons, and I wear a life jacket. Anytime I'm taking somebody out giving a lesson, I'm wearing a life jacket. And I'll have more adults that will say this. They'll say, well, I don't need one. I know how to swim. I know how to swim. And I always say, well, if you're unconscious, you can't.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure, always wear a life jacket. Have it there. The life jackets they have now are lightweight. There's inflatables. They're cool. They're not the heavy, cumbersome ones that we used to wear. Water Safety Council, we have life jackets that are available. If you don't have a life jacket, we can get you a life jacket, and we'll give them to you.
Yeah.
We can get life jackets through the health department. We'll get you a life jacket. We want to make sure every child, man, and woman has a life jacket because it's well worth it. It's maybe uncomfortable if you have to ride the boat just for a little bit, but I tell you what, it's a lot better than having to do to recover somebody from the water.
Water Patrol Officer Stacy Moser is the one that does the classes in the elementary and middle schools, and that's one of their main focus points is the life jackets.
Yeah.
And the kids really get into it. And we've had parents that have told us that our child came home from school today and was talking about a life jacket that he needed to get. So it takes education to do what we're trying to do, and continuous education.
Absolutely. Who's part of the Water Safety Council? I mean, is that open to if somebody wants to?
It is exactly that. It's a council. And so volunteer anybody. I don't care who it is. We don't care. You can become a member of the Water Safety Council. It's just a group of people that have an interest in safety of the lake and want to become involved. And we want them to become part of this. So if you want to become a member of the Water Safety Council, boy, it's really tough to become one. All you got to do is walk into the Chamber of Commerce. And the next meeting is on the 28th of this month and at 11:30, I think.
We meet at the Camdenton Chamber office, and you can call them for more information or to get on the mailing list, the email list, to be notified about meetings.
Wonderful. Well, I encourage you all to do that. Look into the Camdenton Chamber of Commerce for the Water Safety Council. We need to take another short break, but stay with us on the Lakefront Living radio show. We are going to continue talking boating safety and your featured listing of the week. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Once again, here's owner-broker Annie Faulstich.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. We have been talking boating today. We've got Captain Bob May and Doug Beck, president of Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association, in the studio with us. We've been getting a wealth of knowledge on Lake of the Ozarks Captains Association, the Water Safety Council. Again, if you miss any part of today's show or any previous show, you can always catch it at your leisure the following week on our YouTube channel, Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri. But if you just caught off with us, we just finished about the Water Safety Council. That is huge for Lake of the Ozarks. Again, if you have interest in getting involved with that, go to the Camdenton Chamber of Commerce. When did you say that the next meeting was?
Tuesday, the 28th of January.
Perfect. And of course, you can get a hold of either of these gentlemen that are in the studio with us today. But let's talk about we were also wanting to give some dates, some Water Patrol boating education classes, some boat shows. Bob, Doug, talk to us about what's coming up.
Well, the Water Patrol is going to be doing a couple of classes in March here at the lake. And one of them, I think, is a real good impression that the State Fair Community College is trying to make. They are a community college, and so they've got classrooms over there that are unused at certain times of the day and on weekends. So they, kind of with our help, were able to get the Water Patrol together, and they're going to have a class at State Fair Community College early April. I don't have those dates with me. Do you happen to have those?
Well, the only one I found on the Water Patrol site, Missouri Highway Patrol, was the March 28th. That's the one at Advantage Marine.
Okay. Well, the new one is the one at State Fair Community College, and I think it's like that first weekend of April or somewhere right in there, but they're spaced a couple of weeks out. So,
okay.
But, if you want to take the class, you can take the class. But if you were born after January 1st, 1984, you have to have the boater education class and pass it and have the card with you if you're going to be driving a boat. So it's a good refresher course for anybody that's been boating for a few years. You learn a few things, you hear some stories from other people, and it's really good training.
Great. I mean, it was a full day. Like I said, I had not taken it before. I never had to have a registration card due to age, but it was my husband and I took our 10-year-old. And he made it through and passed the class as well. It was,
good.
But I look forward to sending him back again. But for all of us, it was a nice family day, and we did get a lot of education out of it. Actually, and like you said, it's not the hands-on boating, but there was a lot of safety tips in there, or things that we hadn't thought of or didn't know.
One of the things that my granddaughter, who just turned 14, and School of the Osage, and I believe Camdenton does too, they provide boater classes for the students, because they know a lot of the young kids, people, they go out and they're driving boats or wave runners. Of course, 14, you have to be 14 in order to drive a wave runner, and you need to know the boating laws. Thing is about the boating laws, they constantly are changing, and we just had a change in one of the boating laws that are coming up, that are being effective this year.
Yeah, this has to do with boats over 40 feet going into coves, and there's some restrictions and so on and so forth. It's very complicated, so we're trying to get Captain Matt Walls on my show coming up fairly soon, and possibly on other radio stations around too, to share that information about the process that somebody might go through to see if their cove could be designated no wake. So it's an additional regulation that was passed by the legislature back in 2018, and they're finally getting around to getting the actual procedures down.
Nice.
On how it's going to operate.
Yeah, well, we will definitely stay tuned to that on your show to get some more information before the boating season hits.
Thank you.
We've mentioned Lake of the Ozarks Marine Dealers Association a few times on the show already today, and we work with them directly. They've got some boat shows coming up as well.
Yes, they do. Actually, the first boat show of the year is January the 9th through the 12th at Kansas City, and this is the National Marine Manufacturers Association show. Some of our marine dealers from the lake will be there on display, but the big show for our dealers is actually the January 23rd through 26th show at the Overland Park Convention Center. And that's basically, the whole lake marine industry moves to Overland Park.
Yeah.
And it's quite a show. It's really the big boat show, if you will, for that. And one of the changes this year is they're going to open up the show on Thursday at noon instead of 3 p.m. So it gives people, those serious people that are shopping, gives them a little bit more time during the middle of the day to get in there and talk to the boat dealers and, make their deals and so on and so forth. But it's very, very good. The third boat show of the year is in St. Louis. That's January 30th through February the 2nd. That's at the Dome and America Center, and that's another marine manufacturer show, followed by the St. Charles Boat Show, which is, of course, our big show, and Lakefront Living is going to be there.
We are going to be there, yeah. We're not making the Overland Park show this year due to the new member joining us here any day, but we will be at St. Charles Boat Show, and we're going to be doing 3 breakout buyers workshop seminars on Saturday, so definitely look forward to that. If you are thinking about buying a boat, buying a lake house, or just want some information on that to not make a mistake on the lake, join us. We'll have 20-minute breakout workshops at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Ooh, very good. That's March 5 through 8 at the St. Charles Convention Center there in St. Charles. So
yeah.
It's always a great show.
We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Well, Bob, Doug, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate all of your time and just the information that you provide to us. I mean, the homeowners here, listeners, boating safety on the lake is so important, so we appreciate all that you're doing.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's time for the featured listing of the week. Today's listing, Arbor Oak Subdivision, is an established lakefront neighborhood located on the 10-mile marker. Truly a picturesque area from the water and features paved roads to the door, flat driveway, and attached garage. This is a 5-bedroom, 3.5-bath home with 3 living areas, 2 fireplaces, and the most amazing outdoor spaces. New 3 Seasons room off the kitchen is the perfect place to take in the wide cove and main channel views any time of the year. With only a few steps to the dock and irrigated grass lakeside yard, this is truly a rare find on the water. Just off TT, you are minutes from Lake of the Ozark or Sunrise Beach and all amenities. The concrete dock features a 12 by 32 boat slip, swim platform, and 2 jet ski slips. With a recent $25,000 price reduction, this house, gentle lot, and dock combination are all listed for $549,900, so just under $550 for the entire package. If you would ever like to talk directly to one of our lakefront specialists regarding selling your lakefront or lake access property, contact us directly through lakefrontliving.com and go to the Missouri page. You could be our next week's featured listing. I also want to talk to everyone and remind you that Lakefront Living Realty Missouri is now also covering Table Rock, Taneycomo, and Bull Shoals lakes. If you or anyone you know is interested or would like to know more about real estate on those lakes, please have them go to lakefrontliving.com, the Missouri page, and check out active real estate. We always talk about selling a lifestyle at Lakefront Living Realty. Boating is a major role in that lifestyle. It is so important to be educated on boater safety for your loved ones on the boat as well as others that are enjoying the lake. Stay in touch and in the know with your Water Patrol and Water Safety Council. It just makes sense. Don't forget to also catch Bob's No Wake Show every week to be informed on boating tips all over the country. Hiring a captain is easier than ever here at Lake of the Ozarks. With the Captains Association in place, you will be assured you are in qualified hands. Stay safe on the lake and take the stress out of a day out and hire a captain. My family and I live and work to boat and enjoy all Lake of the Ozarks has to offer. Real estate truly is my passion, so every day is a lake day. I will be off the radio until the end of the month, but be sure to tune in as a few of our lakefront specialists and their guests will be here giving you some great information. As always, do not wait to buy the lake home you've always wanted or dreamed of. Life is short. Buy that lake house now and start making memories that you can cherish forever. Don't forget to join us at the boat show in St. Charles, especially if you are dreaming of that lake house. We will guide you to not make a mistake on the lake. That'll be March 7th, Saturday at St. Charles Boat Show, 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. And as always, to get in touch with us, visit our website at lakefrontliving.com or call the office 833-Lakefront, 833-LKFRONT. Until next week, thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Alex Piontek, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty, specializing in lakefront and lake access homes, condos, and land on the West Shore. If you or anyone you know is interested in buying or selling property on the West Shore, give me a call at 636-388-1088 or email me directly at alex@lakefrontliving.com.
Tell a friend to join you next week and listen in to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show. Visit their website for more information, including current listings and agent contacts. www.lakefrontliving.com. That's lakefrontliving.com. Or call the office at 833-LK-FRONT. That's 833-7668. 833-7668. And join them next Saturday after the news at 11 a.m. on News Talk KRMS Osage Beach.